What is happening, everybody? Give me a little bit of time. Let me get set up here. It has been a whirlwind of an evening. Hope your Monday's getting off to a good start, or hope you had a great Monday. I just got back from a Toastmasters meeting, and I had to take all three of my kids with me, so they went with me to that. We get back about 8:15 or so. I had to feed them dinner and myself dinner, get them moving towards bed. Thankfully, my wife was home, came home about that time to help me put them to bed. So that's what she's doing right now. So I can come on and do this live with you, which, you know, I gotta say, I think that I like Monday a little bit later. I don't know what you all think, but it is definitely a Monday. It's good, but it's definitely a Monday. 100%. 100%. All right, let's see here. Get all my notes set up. Okay. How's everybody doing tonight? Hopefully the Monday was good. Dinner was way too quick, but that's okay. I went to Costco. Our Earth Fair closed, and I'm a big fan of Earth Fair. Earth Fair closed, and as yours did, I mean, they closed nationally, but I always loved their rotisserie chicken, $5. And I saw one at Costco on Sunday, and it was $4.99 for a chicken, and that dang thing is huge. I don't care what they're putting in it. It's fine, whatever. It's delicious. So I ate about half of that, which was plenty. So tonight, we're going to kind of continue talking about movement, right? That's what we're talking about this month. And, actually, our Costco was fine. It had plenty of everything and no, knock on wood, right? And no restrictions. So if you need anything, let me know. Maybe I can go grab some and ship it to you. We're going to talk about movement, and really want to talk about the common question everybody has, right? What do I need to do? Do I need to do cardio, or do I need to lift weights? So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about which one's better, but we need to reframe the question. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then there are two things at the end that I want to tell you about that I'm working on that I'm pretty excited about. You may be excited about it too. If you are, great. If you're not, that's cool too. So when we talk about movement, okay, and remember, like from last week, when I'm talking about movement, I'm talking about, really making an effort for exercise, right? Deliberate movement. That's what I'm talking about, okay? Because there's all sorts of natural movements we do. There is that factor into how many calories we burn a day, okay? There's all sorts of other things. But what I'm talking about this month is movement, the deliberate practice of getting some extra movement in, whether that's a little bit of walking, riding a bike, rowing, climbing stairs, lifting weights, whatever it is, okay? The common question is, what's better, lifting weights or cardio? And I don't like that question at all, because for the most part, we all need to be doing both, okay? And I'm talking generalities, okay? But if you are looking to get in better shape, most of the time we naturally think, okay, I need to get in better shape. I need to go running. I just need to go do a little bit of a run. I'm gonna go run for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, etc. Not really thinking that I haven't run since I was a teenager. So number one, we're kind of setting ourselves up for failure from the get-go. Number two, think about it from the standpoint of how your joints take that, right? Going from nothing to running, okay? So I'm not a big advocate for running all the time. Same thing with lifting weights, right? You can't go from 0 to going and doing a set of 10, 5 sets of 10 barbell back squats and think that you're going to feel great the next couple of days, because promise, you're not, okay? It's going to hurt. So we need to be doing a little bit of both, and we need to slowly, steadily ramp both of those up, okay? Be easy if conversation stopped there. Be easy if the conversation was, do a little bit of both, see ya. But it's not that simple. Most of the time, when most people are thinking about trying to drop some weight, okay, and look better. Because most of the time, let's think about this, okay? Most of the time when we say, I want to lose some weight, really, boil it down, really, if you're being honest with yourself, you can be honest with yourself, you don't have to tell me. Really what you're thinking of is, I want to look better. I want to feel better. I want to perform better. In any three, and you can order those however you want to. Yeah, please don't go max squat. It's been a while since you've done that. And when you did, there's a lot of weight because you're very strong. You still are. But so those are the three components, right? That we're trying to achieve. I want to look better. I want to feel better. I want to perform better. Whatever that might be. Okay? Perform better might be being able to get down on the ground with my kids, grandkids, getting up off the floor and not having to take 20 minutes. Going for a walk around the block, playing a game of catch, playing some basketball with the kids, or going for a walk with my spouse. Whatever that might be, I can make it through my work day. I can walk down the hall without needing to take a huge break. Okay, so performance can be whatever it is for you specifically. Look better, we all have goals, right? Now, let's be honest with ourselves. This goes back to the January talk on goals. You want to set a good goal, you want to achieve it, right? But one of those goals is, I want to look better. You want to look better, okay? If you've got plans to get up on stage, and what I mean by that is be a bodybuilder, I think that's awesome. Awesome. We're going to need to get a little bit more specific about what you're doing, okay? And then feel better. Obviously, we know if we start exercising, we're going to feel better, right? But a lot of those, we kind of gravitate towards, I need to do more cardio. I need to go get on the treadmill for 20 or 30 minutes, at least, maybe an hour. I just need to sweat. There's not anything really bad about that, especially if you're not trying to train for, a specific weightlifting, powerlifting goal, right? I don't have a problem with that. The problem is we neglect lifting weights and trying to increase your lean muscle mass. So that's why I added that component of look good, right? Because you've seen the people that lose a ton of weight by restricting calories to next to nothing, the celery and water diets, and do nothing but cardio. What happens? They lose a ton of weight, but they look exactly the same. Just a smaller version of the same person. And then on the other hand, we see people who resistance train, do their cardio when they need to, because it's important, but when they lose weight, they look better. So they recomp their body recomposition. So if you notice, they're not necessarily, and they may be, but they're not necessarily losing a ton of weight, because that's not really the goal. The weight will come off, sure, but we want to look better, feel better, and perform better. Okay? So, how do we do that? Well, we've got to incorporate both. You have to incorporate both. A little bit of cardio every day of the week is fantastic. Love it. A couple of 10-minute walks, 5-minute walks. You heard me say it before. 30-second walks. It's plenty. Okay? It's great. All right? Getting that deliberate movement in. Okay? Anything to raise that heart rate, because we all need it. Okay? Don't be one of those men who think you don't need cardio because you're lifting weights. Yes, lifting weights is wonderful for the heart. It's great for the heart. You do get some cardiovascular benefits. Okay, no one will argue with that. But you need to lift some weight, you need to do your cardio also. I love it. Thank you, Jose. Yeah, I love having this. Down in my gym, I've got it too. So we definitely need to be doing that, okay? Now, on the other hand, so we're doing some kind of movement, cardio every day. We need to do some resistance training. And this is when I really I tend to look at the females, the ladies a little bit more, because oftentimes there is this stigma that I don't want to lift weights because I'm going to get big and bulky. Fact is, you're not, okay? You're not. You're not going to get big and bulky, okay? A couple of things on that before I tell you a little bit more. Let me tell you this before I tell you a little bit more. Sound like a dang politician. Anyway, you're not going to get big and bulky unless you're taking something probably illegal in, okay? You're not going to get big and bulky if you are in a caloric deficit because you're losing weight. Okay? Oftentimes people think that they're getting kind of bigger and bulkier. It's usually due to just the natural after effects of lifting weights, hypertrophy. Your muscles are going to swell a little bit and grow just a little bit. And I'm keeping this real simple. I don't want to go off the deep end with ridiculous science because it doesn't matter. You're not going to get big and bulky, I promise. You need to be lifting weights or doing some kind of resistance training at least 2 days a week. Okay? There's been some really interesting studies out lately, I say lately, within the past year or two, that compared a group that lifted weights 5 days a week versus one that lifted 2 days a week. Okay? And what they saw was it wasn't identical, but the group that did it 2 days a week were just as successful as the group who did it 5. How could that be? Right? They were able to stay more consistent. Okay? Now, if you were preparing for some kind of competition, 2 days a week might not cut it. But again, for the majority of us, 2 days a week, plenty. Okay? So let's go back to the question again. Cardio or resistance training? Which one should I do? Which one's better? Why should, tell me, which one should I do? Both. Okay? I guess this is a long-winded way of saying both. Both. You got to do both. You have to do both. And that's why I preach little bit at a time. Okay? You're going to get in shape. It's so hard. It is. Yes, it's hard. Okay? Because you get all these mixed messages. What should I do? I don't really want to go to the gym and spend 30 minutes on the treadmill, but I also don't want to go and have to do bench press on Mondays because it's International Chest Day, right? I get it. Totally get it. That's why what I like to show and what I like to do is 10-minute walks, okay? And just a little bit of resistance training 2 days a week. So you get a little bit of push-ups, maybe some squats, and they can be body weight. And they're fine, and you can do them right now. In fact, if you're watching this, you should be doing some kind of movement right now, okay? I'm behind a really hot light, so I'm sweating. If I started exercising, I would just sweat, and that probably wouldn't look good. But you get the point. I totally understand that. So I'll say it again because I might not have been clear enough, and I want to make sure that I'm real clear on this. Because most of these concepts, they're real simple, and I could probably sum it up in 2 words. Do both. They're both important. One is not more important than the other. Okay, whichever one you're not doing, you need to do, and that's kind of the takeaway. Okay, you need to do both. Whichever one you're not doing, you need to do. That's it. That's it. That's as simple as it can be. That's as easy as it can be. So, with that said, excuse me, questions. Any questions about that? Any comments? Because I want to make sure that I answer that question of, lifting weights, resistance training versus cardio, which one is more important? They're both important, okay? They're both important. They're both very, very important. So what kind of questions we got? If any. If you don't have any questions, that's okay too. I don't mind. Take a little sip of my water here while I wait for the questions to roll in. Any kind of questions? Hey, Emily. In the next couple of weeks, let's see here, looking at my notes, I kind of covered it already, but we're going to talk about how often we should work out. We're going to talk about if you should change it up, right? Should you change up your workout? And how often should you work out, right? And then the last week, I'm going to help you set up a program, okay? All right, 2 questions. Let's see. Which one makes you lose weight faster? Neither, honestly. What's going to help you lose weight faster is getting in a caloric deficit. Now, I went over that a lot back in February. I'm just looking at my notes. Back in February, I did these, and February was on nutrition. The last week of February, and it's on my YouTube page. And if you scroll down my page here, I kind of broke down a good way of calculating your caloric intake, and just a simplistic way, one to make it really, really easy. Monitor it. So all the cardio in the world or the weightlifting in the world, it won't matter unless you're in a caloric deficit. And you know what? Great question. Because that leads to another question. I go into MyFitnessPal, right? We've all seen MyFitnessPal. In MyFitnessPal, you put in your calories or use whatever they've got, which is whatever. I like my method better, but that's fine. If you tie in your exercise to MyFitnessPal, okay, it will add those calories back in and encourage you to eat those calories back. Don't do it. So in other words, if you burn 200 calories, don't add 200 calories to your daily need, if that makes sense. A few reps or sets of resistance. Technically, yes. Does count as cardio. That's fine. Ideally, and it kind of goes down to the next question, Barbara's question. Target heart rate beat. It really depends on how long you're going for. But what I like, okay, what I go by is more from an RPE scale, which is rate of perceived exertion. And if I'm going to go for maybe a light, 30-minute walk or 45-minute walk, something like that, I want something where I can still maintain a conversation, but not like this. I'm breathing just a little heavy, okay? So I'm kind of like, I can carry on a conversation, but I'm breathing just a little bit. That's about kind of where you want to be. I wouldn't worry about target heart rates too much unless you've got a strap, unless you're wearing a strap. And we can talk about that a little bit more because it's kind of dependent upon you. These Apple Watches are pretty good. Most of the machines usually aren't all that accurate. Or I found if, like on a treadmill, for example, if you put your hands down and you hold on, it totally messes up your gait and how you're moving, and I don't want that to happen. So just go by that RPE, that just slightly breathing a little heavy, and that's fine. %. But that's more your field than mine. 100%. I mean, think about it. That's a great question. Yes, because all of this can really build on somebody and just add up. And then, if you fail at something, right, and then you just stack those failures on top of each other. I mean, think about that from a mental standpoint. You just feel like you can't succeed. And everybody can do this. It takes a little bit of effort. It's not easy. It's simple, but it's not easy. So 100%, that's a great question. Yes, I would recommend screening for depression if there's a bunch of failed attempts. Yes. But that's just a exercise physiologist's recommendation, not a physician's recommendation. Talking to you. But yeah, that's a really good question. What else we got? We got about seven or eight people on here. Who else has a question? Trying to learn how to use this thing. So I've got, let's see, how long have we been on here? About 30 minutes or so. Probably end it here. I'll put this video on YouTube like I normally do. Did want to tell y'all about two things that I've got going on that I'm pretty excited about, actually. And if you're interested, great. If not, cool. I'm still here. I'm still doing this. So I have a private Facebook group that I'm doing more Q&As on. So it's more Q&A style. So it's not me just getting on and ranting. And I'm opening that up to more people. That is usually it's a $9.99 a month, because I also do some training with that also. I'm going to do it for the rest of this month for $2.99 a month if you're interested in that. And really, it's just your opportunity to ask me questions a couple days a week, just like this. So it's not my topic, it's your topic. The other thing that I'm starting, March 30th. Yes, March 30th. That is, 2 weeks from now. I'll send you that. I am starting an 8-week program that is, I'm beta testing it right now. So far, it is fantastic. It is hard, okay? It's not for a beginner, okay? It's for someone who really wants to change, because it's hard, okay? If you're interested in that, 8 weeks. It's an 8-week program. It's nutrition, it's training, it's daily contact, everything, all in one. Let me know. Huge discount right now, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be fire. So if you're interested in either of those, let me know. But I hope this helped. Hope this was awesome. I will send my YouTube link, and I'll talk to you all later. If you get any questions in the meantime, let me know.